Welcome to Simple English Advice, the channel that explains in a simple way any topic related to English language. Today's topic is one of the main English speakers' mistakes, and it is when to use fewer and when to use less. Fewer and less, both words mean the same, not as many. Fewer is usually used as an adjective, more specifically, the comparative of few. For example, she has fewer pencils than me. Fewer can also be used as a pronoun. For example, fewer went to the party this time. As in this example, fewer replaces the noun or the protagonist of the sentence. On the other hand, less is also a comparative adjective. It is the comparative of little. For example, I needed less sugar this time. Less could also be used as an adverb of degree. This means the word that tells you how much, as in, Mark is less funny than John. It tells you how funny Mark is, but in this case, is not as funny as John. Less can also be a suffix. A suffix is a particle added to the end of a word, which in this case changes the meaning of the word. For example, careless, timeless, and worthless. It indicates in these cases the absence of the word it is being added to. In this case is someone that is not careful, absence of time, someone or something that is not worthy. Some people may think both words are interchangeable when they are used as comparative adjectives, since both of them mean the same, not as many. But even though they mean the same, they are not interchangeable. They are used in different grammatical contexts. Fewer is used along with things we can count, so we call this countable nouns. Countable nouns could be people, apples, backpacks, cell phones, and so on. So we will say fewer people, fewer apples, fewer backpacks, fewer cell phones. Less is used with things we cannot count. We call this uncountable nouns. In the case of uncountable nouns, we have words like shampoo, sugar, patience, and happiness. In this case, we will say less shampoo, less sugar, less patience, and less happiness. Though if you put these things inside something, you can count them. For example, a bottle of shampoo, a kilogram of sugar, a moment of happiness, and so on. These things that help us count the uncountable are called partitives. An important fact, and pay attention here, when we use fewer because we're talking about countable nouns, that noun must be in plural, okay? As in fewer doors, fewer eggs, fewer fingers. In the contrary, when we mention things that we cannot count, using or not using less, independently of that, the noun or the word goes in singular. We cannot pluralize uncountable nouns. In this case, we have less toothpaste, less air, and less luck. Why do people get confused with these words? Once upon a time, hundreds of years ago. People didn't used to speak the English that we know now. As all languages, English has been evolving through time. And in the past, people used to speak different types of English, now called Old English, Middle English, and Middle Modern English. In the past, the word used to express not as many, either with countable or uncountable nouns, was less. It was used for both cases. The confusion has persisted in time. Hence, it's common to see some inaccurate usages of real life, like in the express lane of some supermarkets, in which the ad says 10 items or less, when the accurate use is 10 items or fewer, since you can count items as it's correctly used in some other supermarkets. Here we have some tips for you to keep your head above water whenever you are in the middle of a conversation or writing and you are confused whether to use fewer or to use less. Think about these tips. Number 1, can you count the word to which you will add fewer or less? We have this example here. I will try to eat hamburgers. In this case, try to count hamburgers. Count with me. 1 hamburger, 2 hamburgers, 3 hamburgers. As you can count it, then you have to use fewer. And we say, I will try to eat fewer hamburgers. Maybe you're trying to go on a diet. Okay, no. Now, number 2. Also, what you can do is try to pluralize the noun. Make it plural. If it makes sense, go for fewer. And if it doesn't, go for less. Here we have this example. There was joy at the party than the last year. Now let's apply this last tip. Pluralize joy. So, joys? It can't be pluralized, right? So, you have to go for less. There was less joy at the party than the last year. Let's practice, shall we? Now this activity is called 2 options, 1 answer. Here you will have some sentences with blank spaces for which you have to pick whether we should use fewer or less. And the sentences are: number 1, I see that Ryan has had blank space work than me this week. Number 2, his clothes are very clean, even though he used blank space detergent this time. Number 3, the Rodriguez have blank space kids than we do. And number 4, would you buy blank space milk cartons this time? Very good. So here you can pause the video for you to solve this activity. You can do it written or orally, what you feel more comfortable with. And let's say the answers. For number 1, I see that Ryan has had less work than me this week. Number 2, his clothes are very clean, even though he used less detergent this time. Number 3, the Rodriguez have fewer kids than we do. And number 4, will you buy fewer milk cartons this time? Yeah, even though we're talking about milk and we cannot count milk, we can count cartons of milk. Okay, so it is fewer. Very good. So the second activity for you guys is the lightning round. Now I will give you 40 seconds. We will provide you with different words and you say the fastest that you can if they admit fewer or less. So the only thing that you have to do is say fewer or less. And you, my friend, will also keep your own score. So remember, you have 40 seconds and you have many words and you must be really, really fast. Let's see how many ones you get right. Are you ready? Here we have our clock. And go. Key. Time. Ketchup. Chair. Spoon of oil. Love. Girl. Rice. Picture. Grain of salt. And time's up! So, how many ones did you get right? Tell us in the comments. Now, before we're done, I want you guys to comment full sentences using both fewer or less. So, let's go to the comment section and give us your examples, and we will be pleased to read them all. That was it for today, guys. Please remember to subscribe to the channel and check our other videos. Do you have doubts about any topic in specific? Tell us in the comments what topic you would like us to cover for further videos. Take care!